everyone. So I wanted to show you a new wig that I got and kind of take you through the process from start to finish of what I do when I get a wig in. So this is Raquel Welch's editor's pick, and I actually got this from Raquel, and I have had my eye on this this particular wig for quite some time, particularly because it does have that cute little side swept bang. And I actually, before I started wearing wigs and before lost a good chunk of my hair, I always had bangs. I always had a side swept bang, and it wasn't until I started wearing wigs that I didn't really wear bangs anymore. So I wanted a wig that did have that. And so this one I've always kind of had my eye on because it reminded me a little bit of Simmer and the style of Simmer with a bang. So I wanted to show you how I kind of have plans for this and what I'm going to do with it. That way, when you maybe get a wig in that doesn't quite feel like you or your style, you know that you have options to change that, given that it's a heat defiant wig, because it is a little bit tricky to style these, but once you get the hang of it and realize what needs to be done, it'll save you a ton of frustration. I know that the first time I curled my heat defiant synthetic, I was almost in tears because I was so frustrated because I didn't understand why it wasn't holding the curl and what I was doing wrong. But once I learned exactly how to curl these heat defiant wigs, it became so much easier. So hopefully this will save you a little frustration on your end if you're new to heat defiant synthetic fibers. But I did want to show this to you right out of the box. So this is, like I said, Editor's Pick by Raquel Welch. It's in the color Shaded Ice Latte Macchiato, which has quickly become one of my favorites. I really go between this one and Shaded Biscuit with Raquel Welch quite often. This one, in comparison to Shaded Biscuit, is much more ashy in tone. It has a lot of those platinum silvery highlights that really get picked up in this particular color. So I always say that this one does tend to lean a little more on the silvery gray side. So I feel like this is a really good color if you are transitioning to gray. This is a really good option. I know that Shaded Biscuit is really popular, but I feel like if you're transitioning to gray, this is actually a better option. But like I said, it is a very cool color and very ashy in tone, but I absolutely love this color. So I wanted Editor's Pick in this color. So I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna work with it. But just to kind of give you a little bit of a 360. So here's the side, the back, and then the other side. So there is quite a bit of permatease at the root, so you do definitely have a lot of body and volume up at the top. So if you are not a fan of permatease, this is probably not the right wig for you. I personally like having a little more body at the roots at the top, so I do not mind this. And again, Raquel Welch's hairlines are always so stinking beautiful. They're so pretty. So this has that temple to temple lace, and it's just flawless. I absolutely love Raquel Welch wigs. I am a believer. I have loved every single wig that I've gotten from her. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to style this. All right, so one of the biggest tips I could give you, and one of the things that I learned the hard way, is I have always been a person that styles wigs on my head, especially human hair. And so when I moved to synthetics and started trying to curl synthetic wigs, I realized very quickly that that was not the best option. So you are going to want to get some sort of mannequin head with a tripod or one of the clamps that clips onto your counter. I prefer a tripod just because it's very easy to do it anywhere. But the thing with synthetic heat defiant fibers is you can't just curl them and let them go, because they will lose all the curl. You have to hold them in place, and that is what is going to hold the curl. So you have to actually physically hold it until it cools down, which is next to impossible to do on your own head, let alone if you're like me and very uncoordinated. So I am going to start off, I'm gonna put my little glove on for my curling wand because I am very prone to burning myself. All right, so I'm going to kind of straighten this out a little bit with my flat iron because I want it to be more of a beachy wave and not necessarily those big kind of voluptuous barrel curls. I want it to be a little more relaxed. So I've kind of straightened that out, and I'm gonna go in with my curling wands. This is set to 340 degrees, and I'm gonna show you what I mean when I tell you that you have to hold this, and I'll show you the difference of what happens when you curl it and just let it go and then curl it and hold it. So I was initially just curling it, and then if you let it fall, it just stays straight. And I was getting so incredibly frustrated because I was like, what in the world is going on? Why can't I get this thing to hold a curl? So the difference is that you have got to hold this curl in place. So you're going to hold it onto the your curling iron or your curling wand for about 10 seconds, and then you're going to hold it like you're holding it in a little puddle. So I find that the curling wand is the easiest way to do this instead of a curling iron because you don't have that clamp, and I can kind of just let this fall into my hand. So you're going to hold it like it's in a little puddle until that fiber cools down. And I'll show you how different it looks. So once the fiber kind of cools down, as you can see, it holds a curl then. And then you can kind of just play with it as you want. So I'm gonna go through this wig and I'm going to just kind of style it on my own. Okay, so I'm gonna go with my flat iron on some of these curls, and I'm just going to kind of straighten out the ends a little bit to give it a little bit more of that beachy wave. I feel like just straightening out those ends just completely changes it already and makes it a little more kind of that modern beachy wave, like kind of undone curls, which I really like. And when I'm curling these, I'm kind of keeping that end off of the curling wand because I want to keep it with that straight end for that beachy vibe. Now I will say doing this with a curling wand is, in my opinion, a lot easier. And also most curling wands come with these handy dandy little gloves so you don't burn yourself. And I find that that's the easiest way to curl these synthetic wigs. But see how much better that just holds that curl? So that has kind of gotten rid of that piecier look, and we are going to go ahead and try this on and just make adjustments as we need on the head. Also, just so you know, this is actually Wavy Day by Raquel Welch. So this is the Wavy Day that I straightened. It's also in the same color. So this is shaded Iced Latte Macchiato as well. So this is an example of taking a curly wig and making it straight, but it straightened out absolutely beautifully. So let's go ahead and swap girls here. Okay, so while I have her off my head, I'll give you a quick glimpse into the cap construction of this. So you have that temple to temple lace right here, which gives you that impeccable Raquel Welch hairline that I absolutely adore and am so fond of. It has that nice monofilament top, which I really like. It creates that nice illusion of scalp. It does have the closed wefting kind of at the back, so the monofilament goes about to the back of your part right here, so where you would need it. And then it's open wefting. It's not silicone. The wefting does not have that silicone coating like some of them do. It has the adjustable straps, and then it does have the velvet covered ear tabs with those metal stays in them. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's try it on. So here is our finished editor's pick. So I just went through and kind of softened the curls a little bit and did a little bit more of those soft undone beach waves rather than the kind of Hollywood barrel voluminous curls that were in it. And I feel like this just feels a little bit more me. I love the bangs. They're a perfect length. They don't bother me at all. They don't get in my eyes. I absolutely love them. It just kind of helps to, you know, mask those wrinkles on my forehead a little bit. But I do like having the option of a bang. But I think she's a keeper. I think this is a really cute style. So as always, do not be afraid to play with your wigs. They don't always feel like you coming straight out of the box, but there's so much that we can do with these to make them our own, so they're not a lost cause. So don't be afraid to play with your wigs. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'd be happy to help as much as I can. I hope that y'all have a wonderful day. Bye.